I guess we're going to go ahead and move into our next set here. Not next set, the next game is going to be game 2 between Zenix Young and Check 6 Ver.
Yep.
I'm ready to rock.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So, at the 1 o'clock position on Atlantis Spaceship, we have Check 6 Ver spawning as our red Terran player. His opponent at the 8 o'clock position, sporting the blue trunks, that's Zenix Young. He is our blue Protoss player, and he is up 1-0 after a very long game on ESV Sandstorm Mists.
Alright, so we've got the map Atlantis Spaceship here, which is my number 2 and Cat's Pajamas number 1. Seen some great games on this map as well. I'm starting to think maybe this is almost tied with Sandstorm Mists because...
I think they're both great maps. I really do.
I love this map, man. This map is so well designed and so well thought out.
Yeah.
And one thing I just really want to point out to you is if you take out the bottom right-hand corner of the map, just take out everything in the bottom right-hand corner, those 3 mining locations.
Yeah.
You essentially have a normal map. Natural, main, natural, and then like a normal
fourth.
attack paths.
Yeah, exactly.
But that second attack path on the right, now if you bring back the bottom right-hand corner of the map, all of a sudden the thirds have their own little attack path.
Right.
And it makes the game so dynamic.
And like I
so
said,
crazy.
Because the walk distances are so long in this map, you have the honest potential to move into a very, very long macro game.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, this 6 base becomes a point of contention and definitely comes into play. So,
yeah.
And the coolest part about this, look at the way the map's set up. First, second, third, 4th base, 5th base. That's the way you would go around, right?
Right.
Starting, you would probably work around clockwise. So your 6 is going to be down here at the bottom right, which means that when people are fighting over this one, the base that's actually farthest possible away from that location is going to be the one that you have minerals left at.
That is a great point.
Which means that you're forced to run to your opponent's 5th.
And you cannot play the ball mechanic on this map. You
Right.
cannot just mass up a huge ball because think about how easy it is for you to be out of position on this map if you move out with the ball and for an opponent to just come in, sweep one of your bases or 2 of your bases, and then you're basically crap out of luck. A lot of times you might get into a base race situation. So to deal with that, if you don't want to get into a base race situation, you've got to spread out your army. You've got to be at multiple locations at once. And gosh, I think we should stop gushing about this map, man.
But you know what? I've got to say, Koreans better than Westerners at StarCraft 2. They're also better at map making. This was actually made by a Korean map maker from Seoul. So, and he knew what he was doing. So this map is very, very good. We're going to see what kind of a game it produces. I agree with you. Sandstorm Mists has been producing some incredible games. We're going to see how this one plays out as well. So, similar style out of Ver. Decided to go with the 1 Raxin to expand. Bunker at the front. Everything looks identical to what he did last time. I want to see if he follows the same 2 racks, then double gas, then mass add-ons and upgrades, or if he decides to go a little more conventional, 3 racks, then double gas, and start a little quicker. Excuse me, going to the path of, medevacs.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to note. Last time he went for the double racks and then the double gas, and it never seemed like he really built up his infrastructure after that. And it almost seemed like the entire game, he didn't have enough barracks to continue to produce units. And on top of that, he never had enough minerals either. So it's really interesting. He is going to go for the 2 barracks, 2 gas ups again.
So much gas that game.
Yeah, and I just don't know what he does with all that gas. Terrans, unlike Protoss and Zerg, I don't need as much gas.
He didn't have the medevac cover he needed in a lot of circumstances. When you think those are 100-100, so that's an additional 10 medevacs over the course of the game. That significantly lessens that problem. And our Stalker and Zealot friends try to run up one more time, but there's 4 Marines in a bunker ready for them.
Stalker and Zealot friends.
Our Stalker and Zealot friends.
They're holding hands as they went up to the bunker. Friends forever,
Walking
promise?
up to the bunker.
Not if we don't die to marauders.
Up to the bunker. Same build, actually. Ver actually going reactor first. And looks like, oh, the Zealot trying to walk on
friends
by.
Anymore.
What? Okay, let's see what kind of a scout he got.
Stalker's all sad and crying
He saw
now.
the reactor, he saw the second racks, but...
He's like, I thought we were best friends.
That's totally nothing out of the ordinary, though.
It looks like a supply depot. Oops, sorry. Supply depot is going to come up at the front of the bunker now. I really like Terran players who kind of wall off the front of their wall against Protoss players with a line of supply depots. We're seeing this more and more and more because it's a retractable wall. It's very easy to do. Yeah, he's going the double engineering bay.
Yeah, but he's going double engineering bay off of 2 racks this time instead of 3. This is so weird.
And last game he added the 3rd barracks before he did the double engineering bay.
Yes.
So really rushing the upgrades is fair.
Yang going after 3-gate Robo once again. So we haven't seen anything different out of him quite yet. If he decides to move into, let's see, he did Double Forge Twilight Council right after this, and then into 6-gate. I love that Stalker walks up, fires one shot. It's like a kid trying to walk up and like poke a spider, you know, like oh. Got it, and then he runs away real quick, and he comes back up again. Oh! Just trying to see if he can disturb it. So
I think he could stand there and actually just shoot that supply depot down.
Yeah, he actually could. Or he'd force all the Marines out of the bunker.
But he doesn't want to get caught by conch shells.
Right.
That's the thing.
And it is Stimpack. We know from the cast review it's Stimpack that's being researched first. Third racks being added a little bit later. 1-1 coming up. And there, indeed, we do have a factory.
And those upgrades, man, they are very, very quick. Although he's only getting +1 weapons. He's not getting armor. Oh, yeah, he's getting armor. Sorry, guys. Didn't see that. So he is getting +1 weapons and +1 armor right now. And Zenix Young is getting the 3-gate with the Robo.
Yeah.
And I would imagine at this point he's just going to kind of rush it to Colossus, if you will. He's going to try to get that support bay down as quickly as possible. Oh. Or he could go into Charge on Archon once again.
There he is, and I think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
As we do have the Double Forge down, and of course in the last game he decided to throw down Twilight Council right after this. He's got a little bit of gas to go before he gets back to that point, but yeah. Missile turret now coming up for Ver. At the front, it wants to make sure that DTs aren't going to kill him.
Yeah, you can see.
Of course, once again, we know they're not, and there's the Twilight Council.
Yeah, you can see he's a very passive player. He likes to make sure that everything is safe before he starts to, move out and go a little crazy. So that's his play style. Can't fault him for that. Love the extra defense and the turrets to deal with Dark Templar. But there is a Twilight Council coming up right now. So at this point, I'm pretty sure Zenix Young is just going to go ahead and rock the Charge Shot Archon style, and we'll have to see what happens.
And unfortunately, Ver is actually way supply blocked.
Again? There's 3 supply depots coming up.
Yeah, he has 3 coming up at the same time, but that's been there for about 20 seconds or so. Okay, so he is going to start producing units again. Armory's just finishing up, so we'll be able to move into 2-2 right away.
And we can see why StarCraft 2 is so complex. You got to remember every little thing, even the supply blocks, and that's kind of costed Ver in a major way.
And we have 5-gate now out of Yong, so everything is just exactly what he did last time. He does have Blink coming up now. Did he go right into Blink, or did he go fairly quickly into Templar Archives and then Charge Lots? I'm not sure if he had Blink like he did this time.
Well, he hasn't researched Charge yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he decided to go for Blink this go around. A little bit different. And looks like he's got the timing on his opponent just perfect, as he has the Observer planted in just the right spot. And Ver showing his hand, Yang putting up a Photon Cannon.
I don't know if Blink Stalkers are nearly that good against Terran, especially against Bio like this. It's going to be pretty tough to deal with. I mean, yeah, you can blink away from the Marauders and the Marines and everything, but Marines are fairly good against just blatant Stalkers. And if Young doesn't get, some Zealots to kind of back him up, some Archons, some beefy units to take the brunt of the damage, I feel like even Blink is not going to protect his Stalkers.
You know, once again, though, Ver is so late to medevacs. He actually only has 1 medevac that's going to be assisting this this fight. Oh, a second flying across the map as he wants to pitch him with his buddies. But Ver's going to have to make do with very, very minimal healing powers. Oh, look at this. Young has the potential to actually blink down behind his opponent as he runs through the front with Zealots and his Sentries.
He could spring a massive trap if Ver walked into the natural.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But the thing is, Ver sees it because he has 2 medevacs. So he can see the high ground. And Ver's just going to pull out now, it looks like. There's a pylon that blocked the command center, too. And the Stalkers, a Stalker and a Zealot there, actually destroying the refineries as they were in construction. But it's just a little bit of a razz, nothing too major, and Ver should be able to clean this up pretty easily. And at this point, Ver going up to 3 bases, and Young is... What? Is he going to go for the Nexus at the bottom?
That would be pretty risky.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes the way this map there goes.
Okay,
he wants to get that Nexus.
He's going to take the normal third, but this one's just a little bit of an advanced scout. He's got a Stalker there, too. Unfortunately, that advanced scout is expensive and going to die.
Yeah. Ooh!
Cute Blink.
Not. And now we're going to see... golf clap. Now we're going to see both players having 2 attack paths, one from natural to natural and a faster one from third to third. And this is where we might have a lot of interesting circular play happening a la Metalopolis. We might have a lot of a possible base race. We might have split armies as well. So this is going to be really interesting to watch how the play develops.
And there is a medevac loaded up, and Bear stimming the Stalker buys Zenix Young a couple of seconds.
That Nexus is done for.
Yep. That's going to have to get canceled, and it does not. Now, Young had 1,400 banked at the moment, so I guess he doesn't worry. He's not worrying about it, but
I'm sure he's worried. I'm sure he's worried about it. He's just failing on the macro.
What is he? I actually want to see where he's warping in units to understand where his attention is.
Trying to intercept the Marines and Marauders right now, but that's not enough Stalkers. He should have actually warped in Sentries if he was going to try to do an intercept.
Oh, but he did do a lot of damage basically for free and forced a stim out of his opponent as well. Drop coming in now, but it looks like this is going to get spotted by Young, but at the same time he's actually moving up to the Planetary Fortress and doing a lot of damage.
And SCVs have been pulled off the line to now help repair or at least fight, and all the SCVs are getting cleaved in half by Zealots. Force Field's also coming down to split the Marine Marauder army in half. And with the Planetary Fortress just coming up, I think Bear might be able to hold here. At the same time, his drop probably going to be cleaned up pretty easily. So Bear does hold, but he takes some serious economic losses. Let's take a look at the income. He's lost 25 workers, but it's about even at 49 and 56.
All right, so Zenix Young finds a way really to get back into it because he was down 30 supply.
Yeah.
But he had the nice trap where he softened up a bunch of units, forces a lot of energy out of the medevacs as well. So he's playing quite well at the moment. Now he just needs to get his macro in check. If there's any complaint I've seen out of Young so far, it's that he's let his minerals accumulate really, really high. This has been both games as well. I think he's let his opponents stay in the game a little bit longer than he should.
I agree with you. I think he's not really macroing nearly as good as maybe some of the top players. But he is going to try to rectify that by getting another Nexus because he's got so much money anyways. Although, I don't like the location of that fourth Nexus. He should have went for the middle of the map with the triple geysers. Certainly would have helped for Protoss because they can just start making 1,000,000 Templar. Don't forget that geyser in the back there, and the steam vents is a rich Vespene geyser, so essentially it's 4 geysers.
Looks like he's going to go after
Robo Bay. And I don't agree. Oh, I thought you were mentioning the Nexus. I don't agree with the Nexus spot.
Oh, that one. Yeah. No. I definitely understand what you're saying there because in any case, he's got a mineral surplus and he starves on gas at the moment. Yes, with 4 additional geysers, he's going to be doing a lot better than he was. Yeah. But still, I'd like to see him go after this one just because that increased gas will give him a lot of flexibility in where he decides to go from here on out.
And I don't think he realizes that that Nexus at the top left is also vulnerable to now a 3rd attack path at the very top left.
And here's what we were talking about. Ver, because he knows his opponent's army is pulled way out of position, is actually moving down to the bottom right with a good portion of his units.
Yeah, and he's moving down to the bottom right with the quickness now. Yang immediately realizing that and assesses the situation and realizes he needs to warp in some Zealots. He does do that, and he gets his army down just in the nick of time. Comsat goes down to reveal the bulk of the Protoss army is there in defensive mode, so Ver does not need to commit to this, but at the very least, he did force Yang into, making more units, putting Yang in a very defensive mindset, and at the end of the day, Young, Ver is just going to drop. Love it. Drops the Nexus.
Again,
brilliant play.
So this map is so big that it forces you to have units at every location.
And Young's not doing that, man. He's playing the ball style, and it's hurting him.
And he's just got to get his macro in check, man. Unfortunately, Ver was supply blocked. His macro's been quite good.
So is Young.
But, oh wow, yeah, he actually is. We have multiple pylons, multiple supply depots coming up now. We have a Thor being thrown in with +2/+2 on the way. Might we be seeing some sort of a switch to mech in the future?
Yeah, actually, Thors are not too bad against the Protoss. In fact, Thor Banshee was a pretty popular style back in the early days of StarCraft 2.
I mean, we have the switch now where Blue Flame Aliens almost get destroyed, but we have a situation now where 250mm strike cannon is now energy based again, so Thors can be feedbacked.
They can be feedbacked.
I guess
they're not really that. The 250mm cannon's not even that good of a spell.
Used to be. I remember Genro beating MC on, oh my god, Scrap Station.
Yeah.
And when everyone thought that MC was just going to smash, this is when MC was had just won his championship, and everyone thought he was going to repeat. And Genro actually won with 250mm strike cannon. Awesome game. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, we could have a big battle right here, Cats. Both players on the verge of absolute. It's like a Cold War right now. Absolute. Destructive status, but it looks like Young gonna stay back there, and Ver is not gonna push in. Now this Nexus I don't agree with either. Does Young not realize that he should be expanding towards the middle of the map. I don't think he does, and that Nexus is going to get picked apart pretty quickly, I would imagine.
Well, we'll see how well Yang can actually defend here. He's shifting a lot of units over to the bottom right, but looks like Ver's going to try and put on some pressure. He's maxed now. Actually, both players are maxed. We're going to have a big engagement. 2 more Colossi just finishing up at the moment. They're going to pop out of their respective robotics facilities here momentarily.
And I feel like Ver right now, he doesn't need to actually kill this. He could just go for the expansion in the middle, but it looks like he doesn't want this Nexus to stay alive. I don't know if he wants to leave his Marines and Marauders behind. The mineral field leaves him very vulnerable to force field, but it looks like he picks off the Nexus for free. Once again, Yang not making a fight, and this is not good. Yang is continuing to allow himself to fall behind, and look at Ver. He's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases.
Yeah, Ver's going to be on 5 base now, so looks like Yang's going to make his way out. I do think that Yang has a better standing army at the moment because of the lack of air units and the lack of Vikings that are out there. I really believe that 4 Colossi is actually going to be a little much for Ver to hold in a straight-up engagement, but Ver does have, let's see how much better his infrastructure is this game. That's actually...
Triple Ghost Academy coming up?
Okay, yeah, Triple Ghost Academy.
It's nuke time,
He's
baby.
on 6. He's still only on 6 racks.
Oh, it's a big engagement, possibly in the middle. Both armies. Oh, the Medivacs! The Medivacs to the bottom. They are getting a little close. And now a stim goes down. The Colossus were in front, but they did not go down. And now a huge engagement going down. The Stalker's blinking for it as well. That Thor in the background doing some decent work against Archon. And I think Ver is going to have enough. The Colossi are great, but it's just not enough. And Yang has to pull back here. Brilliant play by Ver. Yang reinforcing with more Zealots. Is he going to be able to hold?
And he's going to need to blink back these Stalkers and move them out of the way because the Zealots weren't able to engage.
Oh, those Colossi.
That's what I'm saying, man. Those Colossi are so good, racking up the kills. The Thor goes down almost without a fight. So Ver was at a big advantage, but it's kind of been neutralized a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, he's going to lose all of his Medivacs, which is terrible, and I think he lost all of his Ghosts, too.
Yes, he did. Every single one of them.
Anytime you get into a trade situation like that, you got to keep your Ghosts alive.
He did not kill a single Colossus, so the Gateway army can be rebuilt around that.
Yeah, that's very true. The Colossus is the spinal cord of the Protoss player. As long as the spinal cord remains... Well, I guess it doesn't. It's not a good analogy because your limbs don't regrow as a human being. But you know what I'm trying to get at.
I know exactly what you're trying to get at, but I really don't agree. Oh, poor Thor trapped. Unless he's just going to go mass mech, he's invested so much into upgrades when that could critically be Marauders at the moment. Marauders and Vikings is what he needs, not just mass Thor.
And the Thors can't get healed by Medivacs, so the switch to Thor is certainly interesting, but mass charge lots can deal with Thors pretty easily. Now, granted, Thors can deal with Colossus, they can deal with Stalkers, they can also deal with the Archons as well, but the Zealots are really what is going to be damaging.
Kind of deal with Colossi, but honestly...
They're not half bad against Colossus.
I just think that investing... He already had 3-3 established for his bio units. Marauder Viking, man. I think that would have been a very... Marauder Viking Ghost, I should qualify that. As long as he has a significant Ghost backbone.
And look at all the gas he's got now.
Once again, I mean, this is the same situation we saw last time.
It doesn't even matter that he's got the rich Vespene Geyser, which he does.
And no nukes.
Yeah, he has a rich Vespene Geyser in the middle of the map, but there's a nuke being built. But it doesn't really matter that he's got the rich Vespene Geyser, because he's got like 2,000 gas already.
And the thing is that why would he queue up the nuke on the one that was researching Cloak?
At this point, I think it's just little mistakes.
It's just he's going back to his hotkeys and just the first Ghost Academy he sees.
I don't know if he hotkeyed a Ghost Academy, maybe. But there are 5 Templars being warped in right now in the production. They were warped in the main army, so they're not being used for harass. A little bit surprising that none of these players are harassing the outside expansion, something you would expect from top-level StarCraft 2 players. That could be harassing the 4th or 5th expansions very easily, given the map, but they're not. It's just ball versus ball, and oh no, Bear's just going to get overrun here. This is terrible.
Look at how many Colossi are out there. That's actually a staggering amount of units. All of the Vikings are down now, so those Colossi, yeah, sorry, you're not going to go through those. Those are just going to destroy everything. This Thor actually taking so much damage. This Planetary Fortress not going to last. The Colossi are going to sit at the back. Needs to kill the 2 Vikings, which he does.
I don't think Bear, I mean, he is my teammate and everything, but I don't think he played the end game very well against Yang.
I agree with you.
There were so many opportunities to harass expansions on this map particularly. Look at the top left-hand expansion all the way in the middle. Look at the bottom right expansion completely wide open. The Medivacs or even just ground troops running in, and he never took advantage of that. And even Yang wasn't very aggressive either. So we had a game with 2 very passive players, and it didn't... they didn't exploit the map fully, and as a result, I think Bear just kind of got overrun.
And there it is, GG. So Yong takes a